Tomb Raider is in such an interesting space right now. Where could it go? What could come out? We honestly could have anything. We don't have much information on the new game being made by Crystal Dynamics. Will it be like the Survivor trilogy? Or will it be like the blending of classic Lara with Survivor or something else entirely? For the other side of things, we have the remastered work that Saber has been doing with Aspyr. The first Tomb Raider Remastered collection is the latest playable Tomb Raider thing out there, and the reception has been very, very high. Fans loved it, they want more of it. You could even argue that fans who did not care for the Survivor trilogy finally felt like they were being recognized and acknowledged through that set. I think it's safe to say that was a financial success too, because we have another one on the way. But what about after that? Where does Lara go from here? And I guess a better question for the fans, where would you like to go for it? If you had the keys to Tomb Raider and Lara Croft, what direction would you like to take it in? How would you continue her games? Lara is on a bit of a win streak right now, especially within the gaming space. I know the Netflix show didn't really stick the landing as many of us would have hoped for with it. But with the gaming medium, the medium that birthed her, Tomb Raider is kinda in a really strong position. Like if I was working at one of these companies or as an executive, I would want to keep that Tomb Raider wave going. People loved and bought that first remastered set, and the second is on the horizon. So for many, we have that excitement to have all those classic Tomb Raider games back in that awesome state and available everywhere. But then there is a bit of a sadness as we realize, after this next set, a bit of this party is all over with. There's no more original Tomb Raider games to remaster. But what if that isn't the end of those style of games? What if Saber is then given the keys to actually make an original Tomb Raider title? But how would that work with Crystal Dynamics making their new Tomb Raider game? Could we live in a world where we essentially have two lines of Tomb Raider games going on at the same time? Would the property holders allow for something like that? On just a basic sense, we have seen this done with other properties, where we have Spider-Man stories in both game and even movie form, telling different narratives with different characters playing the lead, and audiences seem to like it, and we're happy with all of this. They just want more good Spider-Man stuff. And I think that is the key word here, good. If you have multiple of the same thing going on, they need to be different enough so that you don't feel like they are rehashing anything. Audiences want new, not samey, because samey could result in oversaturation, and even just really hurting the IP overall, and the game makers in the long run. But could something like this work for Lara? Could we even be in a position where we would see two different versions of her going on at the same time? Maybe even two different timelines? I'd like to wager yes, this absolutely could work. So this is all just talk, I don't have any insider information. This is more of a fan discussion on the property that I very much love and respect. Tomb Raider is a bit weird for me because I would not say that I'm a traditional fan. I haven't really played or beaten many of the classic games. I dabbled here and there, especially when they were all new on the PS1. But the very obscure-like elements were a bit too much for me at the time. I do very much appreciate when a game has those figuring it out type of designs, but you can very much suck at a game and then get all soaked up in the game as well. I was drawn to Tomb Raider for Lara and that sense of adventure. Legend was the first one that I beat, and that version of Lara is my ideal version of her. But I also acknowledge that I'm in more of the minority when it comes to the larger fan base and what they want from it. So as much as I'd like to see a new game done in that Legend trilogy style, I would be blind to not see what the fan base wants and honestly in some ways needs. I think if Tomb Raider fans were polled on what they would like to see for a new game, I think if they were given the opportunity to have a new Tomb Raider game done in the classic core design style, I would bet that those numbers would be pretty high. But would Crystal Dynamics allow for something like this to happen? I do think it would be possible. Maybe we would see Saber get access to lost levels or something like that from the older games and be able to complete them. I know that there are fans that have even expressed to me in some of my prior videos that they would like to see more from the very first PS2 game that essentially sank the original company, and this relates to Angel of Darkness. I was informed that this was supposed to be the start of a new trilogy. Because of what happened with Angel of Darkness, those games never actually ended up being made, and the trilogy was left hanging. Now this right here opens up another good point to look at. What if Saber is then given access to finish that trilogy? Considering that the one game was actually made, and it's going to be in the newest collection set. Apparently Saber is working on fixes for Angel of Darkness. If the second remastered set set comes out, and us players see that Angel of Darkness is objectively better than what it was before, and now the definitive way to play it, I think that could lead many of us to thinking that maybe Saber could then further it. The big question I have for this are any of the original concepts and behind-the-scenes stuff available for the Angel of Darkness trilogy? Like, was the story outline made for those games? Or would Saber be trying to finish a trilogy that was just never played out completely? Maybe the developers had gameplay mechanics that they wanted to incorporate, or try out for the Angel of Darkness sequel that never happened. All of this is very interesting stuff, and if anyone has information on this, please comment below and point me in those directions. I might make some future videos discussing this, because look, I've never played Angel of Darkness. I wanted to back in the day, and especially with this new collection set coming out. But if Saber is able to improve that game, I would definitely like to see them given the opportunity to finish that trilogy, especially if they're in a position where they could. Maybe they would even get in contact with some of those original talent and people behind those games, and those developers could actually serve as consultants on the new project. This does sound like an exciting opportunity. In my last video on Tomb Raider, I talked about how during a recent interview with Aspyr, that they are interested in Tomb Raider projects following this new remastered set. They leave it open as well. That could mean remastering the Legend trilogy, which personally I would love. At the same time, I think this also brings up the opportunity for Saber working with Aspyr to make something original, like from the ground up for the audience that wants that classic Tomb Raider experience, but in a brand new game. I think in one big way this could all actually work, would be if Crystal Dynamics and Saber were sort of on the same page. Having both a Crystal Dynamics game and a new classic game would be good for both audiences. If they are both good games and respect the legacy and character, that would help to prop up both games and the property as a whole. If one ends up being better than the other in a substantial way, then I don't think it will work out as well as a continued thing, and it would be even worse if Crystal Dynamics' new Tomb Raider game would come up short compared to the Saber new classic game. Again, both would need to be good and to help the property thrive. I do think this could be done, and honestly this is something that I think should be done. It would be like really showing that you really care about your fan base, you are putting them first, and showing that you are listening and providing what they want. Again, I have no insider information. This is all a wait and see kind of thing. And as far as maybe seeing Angel of Darkness sequels, well, that is another thing that I would like to go to bat for. Who knows, maybe that could happen. It would be like restoring and honoring that past that got cut short. This might be something that I might even try to explore in future videos too, because my knowledge on Angel of Darkness is rather limited right now. But as a fan of this series, I love this character, and I think we need more Tomb Raider in our life. And I definitely think there is a lot of room for more out there. Lara can still go on plenty of adventures. Plus we need some more good old-fashioned stuff. We just need it done with love and care. The blending of the passion of a fan with the skill and talent of some of the best developers out there. I hope that the future of Lara and Tomb Raider continues to be a bright one. So what do you think about all of this? Would you like to see a new Tomb Raider game done in the classic style? How would you do this? Would you like to see the Angel of Darkness trilogy completed? Are you among the few who love the Legend trilogy like I do? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.